There's a moment when life forces you to ask a hard question. Is this it? Or am I capable of more? For Jenny Robles, that question came while balancing two jobs, raising three boys, and trying to just hold everything together. Most people would have just stayed where they were, safe enough, stable enough, tired enough. But Jenny decided survival mode wasn't the future she wanted for her family. She enrolled at Tulsa Welding School to become an electrician, graduated with the highest honors, and recently stood on stage delivering a graduation speech in front of an entire class of future trades professionals. Today, we're talking about what it really looks like to chase a better future while raising a family. The skilled trades can completely change someone's trajectory. And what happens when your kids get to watch you refuse to quit? Welcome to Skilled Nation, where hard work meets real opportunity. From welding and electrical to HVAC and the trades that keep this country running, this is where skills turn into careers. Skilled Nation is sponsored by Tulsa Welding School. It's a way of life, a badge of honor. All right, Jenny, first of all, thank you so much for being here on Skilled Nation.
Yes, sir. It's an honor.
So let's talk about this whole keeping it real. I mean, you are really just coming out, boots on the ground, of becoming an electrician, but I want people to understand your life before all of that. You were balancing so much. Tell me about what you were doing, what your job was, what the second job was, the boys, keeping that whole life spinning.
Yeah. So before Tulsa Welding School, life felt like nonstop survival mode. I was working as a medical assistant for an internal medicine clinic. The second job, I was a shift supervisor at Wendy's. Um, those were long hours. And then, just raising three boys, handling football practices, homework, meals, just trying to keep everything moving. Every day was pretty much just wake up, work, take care of everyone else, sleep a few hours, then do it all over again. There wasn't much time to think about myself or my future. Their father was a part of the journey, and there were times he really helped, with the boys while I was balancing work and school. But he was also working and going to school himself at the time. So both of us were, pretty much just trying to juggle responsibilities while building better futures for our family. And I also carry a lot of pride in the fact that I was the first person in my family to graduate high school and continue into further education. I became the first woman in my family to go into a skilled trade. Instead of believing I had to wait for a man to take care of me, that mindset alone kind of changed a lot for me.
That's badass. All right, good for you. Congratulations on all those counts.
Thank you.
All of those are good boxes to check. So, is there a moment you kind of talk about it as if it's like, Groundhog Day? It's that same day over and over again. A couple hours sleep and then get up and just do the same thing again? Was there a moment where it just felt like, okay, this is enough. I just can't keep doing this.
Yeah, for a while I had been tired. Like even just working one job, my the father of my kids, he worked, but his work it was a trade and it was residential. So it was always like he had some slow seasons and I'd have to pick up a little bit more slack, during certain times. And I realized I'm like, I'm always tired and I'm barely getting by and barely getting ahead. I kept asking myself, like, if I keep doing this exact same thing for the next 5 years, like, what is it gonna look like? Where will I be from now? And honestly, it scared me because I knew I didn't want to work two jobs for the rest of my life. I didn't want my boys growing up watching me always, constantly struggling to survive. And then, as they get older, they ask for more things. And I was like, yeah, I can't keep doing this. I mean, a part of the motivation came from wanting not just better for myself, but my family as a whole. My boys were a huge motivation, but honestly, the father of my children was as well. We both knew we couldn't stay this way forever, financially, emotionally. Um, Watching both of us work hard and try to build something better pushed me to stop settling and take a real chance for myself.
Oh, Jenny, I love that story. And you know what I love about it is I think the trap can be when you're in the care provider position, right?
Hmm.
It's easy to put your own goals kind of on the back burner, right? You put them on hold because you
Yep.
feel, it's so important to be that care provider. So,
Hmm.
how did you, break out of that thinking? Because I think that's what makes a lot of, particularly women, just because we know that as egalitarian as we try to be about splitting the work, there's still women doing most of the care providing.
Yeah, of course.
Um, like, what's your message to other women to do what you've done? Like to get out of that mindset where, well, I got to take care of my people first. Like, when do you, like they say on the airplane, put the oxygen mask on yourself before you put it on the person next to you?
Honestly, like I for the longest, I would say here, like I knew I wanted to go back to school. I knew I didn't want to do something that took years. And I was like, well, let me try a trade. But every time that I think about going to go look at a school, like something came up, like the car broke down, or my the father of my kids was out of work, or like it was just always something. And I was like, if I don't like do something now and just do it without thinking about it, like I'm never gonna do it because I've been pushing this off for a couple years. And I came supposedly just to come look at the school, and the same day that I left signed up. Like it wasn't in my plans to look. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna go look at it. And I left signed up. And from with my first day of starting class. Like I it's my message is really just do it. Like there's never gonna be a good time. It's always gonna be something. That's what I tell everybody when they're like, well, it's I'm going through this right now, or like I don't have a car. Just do it because once you start it, you're gonna find a way.
Okay, I
Like
love that.
you're always gonna find a way.
It's like when you're standing on that high dive. You'll stand on the
Mhm,
edge of the board and just look at that water and just never take the dive if you
mhm, mhm.
overthink, right? So you just dove
Yep.
in. And of course, the school you toured and signed up for on the same day, Tulsa Welding School. You are a
Mhm,
graduate. You're an electrician, and that's an amazing accomplishment. And you can understand the people that put it off, though, because you said you put it off for a couple of years. And was it
mhm,
like that? Bear with me. It's almost like, they talk about fight or flight or
mhm,
freeze. When
mhm,
you're under stress, it's really hard to do high level decision making, you know?
mhm.
And do you think that it was the stress that kind of kept you feeling stuck?
Yeah, 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 most definitely. Like I'd sit here and worry about like, oh, like how was I gonna pay for the student loans if I go? Like, how am I gonna afford to not go to work and still, make it to football practice and the football games? I was like, man, that's what kept pushing me off. Like I was like, I don't have the time. What if like I thought about the future too, like I thought too ahead of the future and thought like, well, what if something comes up and I don't have the money because it's going to my student loans. And I was
Uh,
like, no, like I've always figured something out, even when I thought it was gonna be impossible. Like I need to just go. Like I didn't think about it. When they were telling me, like, okay, this is how it's gonna be, I just kept saying, yep, okay, yep, that's fine. It works, without actually listening. I just went ahead and did it, and I'm figuring it out.
I love that because it's like you had to learn to live in the moment rather than an
Mhm,
overcomplicated future.
mhm, mhm,
You bring up the football. You
mhm.
you you want to be involved in your kids' lives. Talk about how you're not just dropping them off at practice. Talk about your involvement in the team. What do you do?
Yeah, so I'm a team manager for his football team. So we pretty much we kind of just we're in charge of any like group activities. We kind of make sure like the kids they're ready for football, like mouth guards, they're stepping behind the line. If they need water, snacks, just stuff like that. Any events, we pretty much try to be on top of it so that the coaches remember. We know that the coaches have a lot on their mind, and I mean just a lot on their plate in general. So we're pretty much like pretty much like their managers too, like literally team manager.
And were you
Just
doing
pretty
this
much managing everything.
were you doing this when you were juggling all those responsibilities and jobs?
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. I mean, my mom, she would take my son to practice because his dad was at school in the afternoon and I was working in the afternoon, and then um it'd be on the weekends. He played select football, so it was like a 2-day kind of thing, and that's where we'd kind of, well, that's where kind of I'd handle the things. Like I'd still be involved over the phone, making sure I was up to date with any news. But yeah, everything was pretty much. I mean, I was still involved with everything while working the two jobs and all that.
Incredible. We're talking to Jenny Robles. She is a graduate from the electrical program at Tulsa Welding School. So your boys, they saw you really being present, really being there for them, even when it was a struggle, right? And then they saw you take a different turn in your journey, right?
Yep.
What was their reaction to this pivot that you made in your life?
So they were like, it was really just my oldest. My other two, they're still pretty young and they don't understand. My oldest was like, well, I remember when I got home with my tool bag for the first time, and he's like, Mommy, why do you have dad's tools? And I'm like, no, baby, these are mine. He's like, yours? I thought you worked with the doctor. And I was all like, yeah, baby, I work with the doctor, but I'm going to school to do something else. He's all like, well, what? And I tried to explain to him. I said, look, baby, I said, I promise when I do my first thing in the lab, I'll take a video and I'll show you what I did. And we did our first lab. I took a video of the work and he was like so mind blown. He wanted to understand how I got the light to turn on. And if I shocked myself, if it hurt, like he was just so mind blown. He was like, I thought only boys could do that. And I'm like, no, baby, girls do it too.
Wow, what a huge lesson. I mean, that's gotta
Yeah,
really hit when you hear
yeah,
that because
yeah,
they're seeing it happen in real time and it's very real
yeah,
and present in their lives. It's their mom doing that.
yeah, yeah.
What do you think they're learning from seeing your journey? I mean, in addition to that, I mean, that's a really, you know, breaking down a gender stereotype is really cool for your boys. What do you think they're learning about, resilience and having a plan and those kinds of lessons?
I think I feel like they're kind of learning like, they don't they don't have to feel like they have to be stuck with a certain type of job. Like if they want to sit here and go be a medical assistant like I did, like go for it. It's not just girls who do it, even though that's all they see. That's what you see majority of the time. It's just, women really in healthcare. And I feel like now they feel like, you know what, if my mom could do anything and she could do a guy's job, maybe I can do something that's not as hard. If I don't, if he doesn't want to and he wants to do something more simple, I don't feel like he feels like, oh, well, I can't do it because only girls do that. I feel like he's thinking more, a little bit more open minded, thinking like, okay, I can do it too. If a girl can do a man's job, then a man can do a woman's job.
Yeah. Well, it's clear that you pour into your family on the daily, constantly, that's your priority. It,
Yeah.
what is the emotional impact of like you got to recognize that you're role modeling, right? In your journey. How does that hit you? I mean, cuz you've made a big choice and you've taken a big step. Does it ever just kind of come at you all at once?
Yes, it does. Cause again, I mean, like everything's coming at me at once. I mean, even now, me and their dad recently split, and we split in the time of, me going to school, changing from, somewhere that I had stability to a new career, getting my own apartment. So like there's some days where it's like it just hits me like crazy because it's like, whoa, it can be very emotional, like all kinds of emotions. Like I'll be
Yeah.
really happy and then I'll be really sad. Like it's just like a wave of emotion. I can't even really describe it. It's all over the place like a roller coaster.
Well, yeah, just ride the dragon. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's rough. I'm so sorry about the breakup and
it's okay.
the move. Um, you changed from healthcare, which you discussed. You were also involved in the youth sports and all that. How much of that stuff transferred? Anything about being involved in youth sports as a manager apply to the process of learning the electrical? Anything from healthcare transfer over, or was it like just totally wringing everything dry and starting over?
I mean, it was everything was like completely new. Nothing really transferred. I mean, other than like taking proper steps to, hydration or like if I get a cut or something, I know how to properly like take care of it. But everything is it was like completely new. Like, I mean, even the setting, like in healthcare, I'm at a desk. I'll occasionally get up to pass patients, and I'm in an air conditioned place. With the electrical, I mean, I'm outside. I don't really have to interact with many people. Maybe if I'm working with a partner, yes, but it's like it's completely different. I mean, there's no really comparison with I mean either job. There's no comparison. There's nothing similar that I could have pulled from one.
Right. Yeah.
Nothing that really helps me too much.
Hydration. That's about it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's really it. How to properly hydrate, and if I get a cut, I know what to do and stuff like that.
So then why electrical? I mean, just seems so random and out of the blue and like such a 180. What drew you to, because there's a lot of skilled trades. What drew you to electrical?
I initially I was interested in welding, but I was like, no, because I wanted to I feel like welding was I mean, I don't know. I'm not a welder, but I feel like it was very repetitive kinda in a way. HVAC, I knew I didn't want to do it. It just wasn't something that I was interested in. And electrical, I thought, well, you can do all kinds of things like big buildings. Not all buildings have the same things. There's a lot more there's different lights, you got the breaker panel, transformer, all that stuff. There's different things to learn in electrical. And I was like, yeah, I don't like something where it's like but repetitive. I wanted to be able to learn something new every day or every couple months at a new place. Okay, well this just because I did it in this job site this way doesn't mean I'll do it in this one the same way. I just didn't want something repetitive and get bored of it. I think that's probably also why like I was like I can't do medical field anymore. Like even if I were to go back to school for years to do it, it's going to be repetitive and I needed something different.
Well, you took the plunge. We're talking to Jenny Robles. She is a graduate from the electrical program at Tulsa Welding School. And, you know, there's still the stereotype, right, that the trades are very male dominated. That and when you go to school, was it a male dominated environment? Did you feel welcomed? Did you have any fears or, reservations before starting up at Tulsa Welding School? So tell me about that part of the experience as a woman.
Yeah, so whenever I started, like, I seen a lot of women for welding. I seen a lot of women for welding. Like when they gave me the walkthrough, I seen women for welding. I seen nobody for HVAC, and I don't think I seen any for electrical. So whenever I signed up for electrical and I came to my first day, I looked around. I was the only girl. I was like, oh no, like maybe
Oh.
just one more girl. Maybe she comes in tomorrow or the next day.
Was that intimidating? I mean, how did that make you feel when you were the only woman in the room?
It, I mean, as in it was a little bit intimidating because I'm like, man, I don't want to I don't want somebody to sit here and ask me something and they pick on me because I'm a girl because I'm not going to know. I don't want them to think I'm just here to play stupid or to look cute. Like I want to be here to learn, but I don't want to like it was just completely new. Like it was scary because again, no, I had never had to hold a power tool, any hand tools. It's never been something. I mean, I wasn't familiar with anything, and I was like, man, I'm sure all these guys like they're familiar. They could sit here and name the different kinds of screwdrivers and flatheads, and they know how to use a power tool. And I'm just like, I've never held one. I don't know how to use one. it was very it felt very scary, and then I mean it was even scary when we got our first or when we got our tool bag. They gave us a checklist to check off all the tools we got, and the only thing I can point out was safety glasses and flashlight. And like I felt so embarrassed to ask for help, but I was like, I need to learn. Like everybody's sitting here just checking off, and I was like, oh, what did I get into? In that moment, I really thought about like, what if I just leave and don't come back? But I was like, no, I might as well just ask. Like, what's the worst that? Like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hear worse things out in the field, so
And so
might as
how did
well.
that go? So when you ask a peer or a student, like, listen, I just haven't been exposed to this. Did it go better or worse than you thought? Were people willing to share knowledge? Like, in other words, was the idea of asking worse than actually asking?
The idea was worse than yes, it most definitely was. Like I overthought it. I overthought the whole thing. Like I played out a whole scenario and it went completely the opposite way. Like the teacher's like, "Oh yeah, like I'll show you. Let me get with these guys first and I'll come back. Whatever you do know, just make sure you check it off and whatever you don't know, just leave it there and I'll come help you." And it was like he helped me within like 2 minutes and I was like, "Oh gosh, thank you."
So it
Like,
sounds
it was
like
such a relief that
so
he didn't make it a big deal.
so the hardest, like when I think about the hardest thing of going to Tulsa Welding School in any program, right? I would think it would
Mhm.
be something about the trade, that would be harder than expected. But it sounds like a lot of the processing is, you know, intellectual or emotional or social. Like what was hard, I guess, personally, and then what was hard or harder than expected about the trade?
I think it was really just balancing everything, the coursework labs, working, parenting all at once. Time management became everything, like,
Yeah.
it became my worst enemy. Um, there was days where I was exhausted mentally and physically, but I mean, I still had responsibilities waiting for me at home and here. So I was like, just get up. Like it's only temporary that you have to be like this. Like just push through.
And what about on the trade? What did you find the hardest thing that you didn't even know to expect about electrical?
In the trade, it was it was probably like I mean, here at school, you don't understand something, they go back like, okay, like let's teach you. In the trade, I didn't understand something. Oh, well, we'll just have to show you when the next time comes. And we don't know when the next time was. That was probably the hardest thing. Like, if
So
you didn't
you're,
pay attention the first time, like you were just gonna have to wait till it came again, and you don't know when's the next time it was gonna come.
I want to make sure I'm understanding. So, in other words, when you were in a classroom setting, you could ask and get real time help. But you're talking about like being out in the field.
Yeah,
You,
like being out in the field, like just depending, like if it was something that I didn't know how to do out in the field and I didn't
yeah,
understand it, they couldn't sit here and go back and explain it because the work has to keep moving. They don't have time to stop. Oh, let me show her until she fully understands. Like, no, the work has to keep going. We have deadlines to meet. There's certain things that have to be done at the end of the day. And it was just one of those either you got it on the first time or you're gonna have to get it the next time. But like once I seen it happen to me for the first time, I was like, okay, yeah, let me make sure I'm paying attention all the way through because I can see they're not going back. This is not school. Like
yeah,
this is real life and I have to pay
yeah.
attention. Like I can't they're not going to come back to help me.
School's always a little bit of a bubble. You don't realize it until you're out of school.
Yeah.
We're
Yep.
talking to Jenny Robles. She is a graduate of the electrical program at Tulsa Welding School. Speaking of schools, and what was like a light bulb moment where you said, "Wow, I'm good at this. This kind of came easy." Like, were there light bulb moments where things really kind of just clicked?
Like as in school or like in the field?
Like just learning about electrical. I mean, whether it happened in school in a classroom setting, what really seemed to come naturally, what made sense to like what worked with your brain. Everyone has a different way they're wired, right? Uh,
Mhm.
no pun intended, but everyone has a different way they're wired. What just worked with your brain about electrical? What was a fit that really made you think, "Hey, this fits like a glove. This is good."
I think I was probably in like my third course here at school and like I would sit here and study. Like, I would come in on the days that I wasn't even scheduled to be here to get a classroom setting and get experience with different teachers and their teaching style to see if I could understand it. And I mean, I was like, maybe this really isn't for me. Like, I'm just not understanding. And everybody would tell me, like, oh, give it more time. Like, you'll understand it. That's how it is at first. Like, that's how you were when you were in in school for medical assistant. Like, just give it some time. And then, like, in my second or third class, we were wiring up a board with with switches and receptacles. And I remember the week that we started that, I was out. I was out that whole week. And when I came back, the teacher's like, okay, well, we're doing the same thing as last week. And I was like, I'm sorry, but um I was out sick last week. Um, do you want me to just shadow somebody, or can you show me? He's all like, well, who else was out? And he grabbed the people, whatever. And he's like, I'm gonna show y'all this one time, and after that, I need y'all to go do it. Like, I seen him wire. He used to say this phrase when it came to where the wires went on the switches. He would say, if we're from the same hood, we're on the same level. That way I knew where the wires went, and that has stuck with me. And that's like, after he showed me that first time, I may have took a little bit longer because I wasn't familiar with using hand tools, but I didn't need to call him like, hey, can you show me again? Like, he showed me that one time, and I was able to mimic what he said or what he did on that board. And I was like, okay, this I think I've been overthinking it. My issue isn't that I'm not getting it. My thing is, I'm more of a hands-on person. Like, you show me one time and I'll understand it. And that's when I was like, yeah, this I'm gonna be okay here. This is for me.
Yeah, Jenny, you overthinking it. I've known you 20 minutes, and this that's come up a few times. Yeah, but then eventually, though, you get over the hump and you dive in. Um, what about the physical demands of it? How different? You said you just sat at a desk when you were doing medical, right? It was relatively sedentary. What surprises you, or what's different about the physical challenges?
The physical challenges, I mean, it's a lot of walking.
You
Although it's
you're getting your
not like
steps.
I get my steps in. I know I'm putting at least more than 15,000 a day, and then flights of stairs. Although it's only a two-story, like where I'm working at right now, it's only two stories, but I constantly have to go up and down. I mean, it's the walking, and then just because I'm a girl, that doesn't mean that they're gonna be like, oh, go do something else. No, they have me in the electrical room pulling the really big wires or feeding the wires with them. Like, it it was a big change. Like, I know that first week when I started pulling and feeding wire with the guys, I I was very sore. I
Well,
ended up getting sick, and like, not just body sick, but like I ended up getting a fever, and I was like, "Oh my gosh." And I went to doctor, like, "It's because you overworked your body, like you need to slow down." I'm like, "My job it's not gonna slow down. They have to keep going." And she's like, "Well, with time you'll get used to it. Like, you won't be as sensitive, but yeah, this is why."
yeah, I've heard the body can acclimate to heat and different things, but I mean, is you're probably in great shape because of it. It's like a gym
Yeah,
workout every
yeah.
day.
Yeah, it's like, I don't who needs a gym? Who needs a gym?
So
My gym is right at work,
you're saving money on the gym membership. So
saving money.
here's what I find fascinating. Remind everybody we were talking to Jenny Robles. She graduated from the electrical program at Tulsa Welding School, and when she got there on those first days, she didn't have exposure to hand tools, power tools. She couldn't identify those tools, and you didn't just learn that, and you didn't just graduate. You graduated with highest honors, and I find that so remarkable. That's not an accident. How did that happen? What were the sacrifices that required behind the scenes? How much work? How much study? You know, uh, Tell me about how you go from really a clean slate to
Mm.
graduating with honors. That's remarkable to me.
I mean, a lot of sleep was sacrificed, a lot of personal time. I mean, there was nights where I stayed up and everybody else was asleep, or like I said earlier, I'd come in on my days that I wasn't even scheduled to come get a classroom setting to learn, or like I'd come in on makeup lab days on Fridays and I didn't even have to make up a lab just to get that experience hands on. Um it it required discipline every day, honestly. It, especially on the days I didn't feel motivated. I mean, there was so many days where I was like, well, what if I just miss today?
Hmm.
Or what if I just take off a week? I don't feel like it'll hurt that bad. I have pretty good attendance. Like it won't hurt that bad. But I was like, no, because I don't want to be behind. Like after like when I had did the when I told you I didn't know that checklist that day, whenever we did that checklist of the tools and the teacher helped me, I said, you know what? I'm gonna make sure I come out at the top of my class because I'm pretty sure everybody's underestimating me for not knowing a single thing, and I promise you, I'm gonna be the top of my class, and I was.
Bam. Look at that. Handled like a boss. I love it. And how did that feel to find out that you had graduated with those honors? I mean, that had to be just a huge moment.
I mean, it was like the thing is like they would tell us like our GPA, our attendance throughout the courses, and I would make sure and I track mine to make sure mine was always good. Um, and I remember like a few weeks after I finished my last course, we received an email. Everybody that was graduating with our class received an email like, this year we're going to have one of our own students be the honorable speaker and a whole bunch of stuff. The next day I had my speech ready.
Mm.
And
Wow.
I remember coming to the school like 2 days after that, and I was like, "Mr. Pierre, who is doing the honorable speaker?" He's like, "Oh, well, it's not up to me. Like, you have to talk to Donovan. He's the one choosing." I said, "I don't know Donovan." I said, "Donovan's probably gonna pick somebody from, his own class or whoever he does know." I said, "I don't know him." He's all like, "Well, go introduce yourself." I said, "Where is he at?" He's all like, "Over there by the welding." I said, "So he's a welding teacher. All right, don't tell me you're gonna grab a welder because without the electricians, these welders are not working. Like, I feel like it's only fair that an electrician does it." And then he's all like, "Well, you have to go talk to him." And I went, I said, "Hi, Mr. Donovan. My name is Jennifer. I talked to Pierre. He told me that you were choosing the honorable speaker." And he's all like, "I am." And I was like, "Do you kind of have, like a decision of where you're going towards?" He's all like, "Well, we usually do welders." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I feel like this year you should do electrical, an electrician," meaning me. And I said, "I already have my speech prepared." I had my speech prepared that same afternoon that email went out. He's all like, "Okay, well, read me a little bit." I said, "I'm gonna read the whole thing." So I read the whole thing. He's all like, "Okay, I will keep it in mind." And he's all like, I'll be sending out an email with who I decide to go with on Friday." And all day passes on Friday and I don't get nothing. I said, "Man, it's not me." And I get a call, and I usually don't answer random phone numbers, but I was like, "No, let me just answer." And he's all like, "Hi, this is Donovan. Am I speaking to Jennifer?" I said, "Yes, sir. I'm sorry, but Donovan who?" He's all like, "Donovan here at Tulsa Welding School." I was like, "Oh yes, how can I help you?" He's all like, "I just wanted to tell you that we decided to go with you for our honorable speaker." I felt so bad for
Yes.
that man. I know I screamed in that man's ear so loud. I must have popped an eardrum, but I was so excited because I had every chord and that was the only one I was missing. I was like, yeah, like there was just no words. I remember calling everybody. I called my best friends. I called my mom. I called my grandma, and they're like, "Oh, we don't know what that is, but okay, okay." And then when I explained it to them, then they got excited with me.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's an incredible story. What about your boys? I know that a couple of them are still pretty young, but like especially your oldest, did he
He
understand
he
the
was
magnitude? What was his
Yeah,
reaction?
he understood. He was excited. He was like, "Do you have to talk in front of everybody?" I was like, "I do." He's all like, are you gonna be nervous? He's all like, if you're gonna be nervous, I can help you. I can go up there and read it with you.
Oh,
I
that's
was
so
all like, I
sweet.
think I got it. Yeah, he's so sweet. I was like, no, baby, I think I got it. He's all like, well, do you have everything ready? Did you write it already? Are you gonna memorize it? And I was all like, I don't know if I'll memorize it, but I have it already. He was so excited for me. He's all like, he's all like, well, I would get you some flowers, mom, but I don't have no money. I said, it's okay, baby. It's okay. Don't worry about it. He's all
And
like,
by
the next time I have money, I'll give you some. I was like, okay.
he sounds like a chip off the block though, because he's like, "Do you have it ready? Do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have?" He sounds like planner like you are. Very very
Yeah, he
meticulous,
is
very
very.
organized. Um, just so we're not painting such a rosy picture, right? For everybody who might be talking, hearing this and thinking, this could be a path for me. Let's talk about challenges, right?
Mhm.
Um, for people who want to, especially people who want to make a pivot from something they're already doing, it could be really hard, right? You feel you're on a path, you've invested in whatever career you're already in, right?
Mhm.
What would you say to people is the hardest thing they're going to have to overcome to make a change?
Um, I mean, the hardest thing is really if you're like me and you like to overthink, it's really just gonna be like I said earlier, just dive in. Like that's
Just
gonna
do
be
it.
your biggest challenge. Like sitting here overthinking and second guessing and like thinking too far into the future is gonna be like your worst enemy. There's gonna be a point in time where you just have to dive in and you'll figure it out when you cross that bridge.
So
Like if
what?
you figured everything else out, you'll figure this one out.
So you dive in and you get into the program. What was? Would you say that checklist moment, or what was there another hardest moment in the program where you had to push through? Because you talked about the discipline of not taking the week off. You're tired
Mhm.
and you don't want to go in, but you go in anyway. Is that the discipline? Is that the challenge? Is just challenging yourself every day to step up?
Yeah, I mean, it was really just I mean, there was other challenges. I mean, I'm sitting here going to school in the middle of a breakup, like I'm going through
Yeah.
relationship issues, like that was a big challenge. I mean, not seeing my kids as much was a big challenge, but I knew it was only temporary. It wasn't gonna be forever and it wasn't gonna be years. It was just gonna be a few months. Like there was some days where I'd get upset, like, I'm going through this at home and like I'm already going through this and I don't get to see my kids. Like it was a big challenge, like going through everything all at once. Like it wasn't like things came little by little. No, everything was hitting at once. The jobs, the breakup, not seeing the
Yeah.
kid or and mind you, my baby he was still very little at the time. He hadn't even been a year yet with all this going on. So it was, I mean, the challenges
That's a
were
lot.
there. It was a lot of challenges, but I mean, again, I knew I eventually had to keep putting it in my head. Every time I wanted to quit, I had to put it in my head, like, you know what? This is only temporary. It's not gonna be like this forever. Just a few more months and you're out of here and things are gonna start looking a lot better. You're gonna have more time with the boys. Like just push through. You're gonna miss a few things, but you're gonna be there for a whole lot more.
We're talking to Jenny Robles, graduate from the electrical program, Tulsa Welding School. I love your story. You know what I love about your story is all that imperfection. It's like I think one of the things when we look at where we want to get to, and our heroes all look superhuman, you know, or they're coming from such a perfect place, or they had such a strong base, and you weren't coming from perfect, at all. You were coming from struggle. You were going through things while you were trying to make a change. What do you say to another parent, or someone going through a hard time who might be thinking, you know what, this is it. I'm stuck. This is as good as it gets.
Um, I would say probably, I mean, don't ever tell yourself you're stuck. You're not stuck. No matter how hard the situation seems, you're not stuck. You're only gonna be stuck if you choose to stay in that situation. If you really want to get out of the situation and you don't want to be stuck, you're going to do something to make a difference. Even though it seems there's never going to be a perfect time of when to do something. There's always going to be some kind of issue, but you just have to take a chance. Just take that chance, and again, you're going to figure it out as you go. If you've been figuring out all your struggles this whole time without wondering how you were going to make it, what's one more struggle added to it? A temporary struggle.
Right.
Temporary sacrifices added to all this.
You're really inspiring to talk to. You really are. And this has been amazing. I got to ask, what was in the speech? I mean, so you wrote that speech like all in one sitting as soon as the email went out. What was in the speech?
I mean, I talked about, my story about being a medical assistant. It wasn't easy. Everybody struggled, responsibilities, bills. I mean, even family, probably possibly health issues. And, a lot of them still showed up. Like they made these small sacrifices for a better future. And I mean, it took a lot of courage to sit here and step into a trade, and then not just because I was a girl doesn't mean I was the only one that didn't know about tools. I mean, I know there was men that had no prior experience with tools. I knew men here that came from working in the food industry, never picked up a tool. And I knew it was new to them too. And they all took, they believed in themselves and they pushed themselves to actually take a chance to better themselves. I mean, it was, I pretty much just talked about, don't give up. You made it. You're here. The future isn't waiting for us. It was ready for us to build it.
I love it. And you know what? I love that you chased it. You chased something that for most people, their biggest fear is public speaking. That's like one of the most common. Were you nervous up there? Like, I mean, suddenly you're like,
Yes,
I'm
I
asking
was
for this, I'm asking for this. And all of a sudden there's a bunch of people in front of you. Were you nervous? How'd it go?
I was so nervous. I remember like I told my career service guy, I was like, I don't remember my speech. I need a paper. Like, can I go print one out? He's like, well, you can't look at the paper the entire time. And I'm like, well, you are practicing and I'm watching y'all look at the paper. So I can look at the paper too. Like, I can't. I need the paper. And they're like, okay, calm down. Like, I'm gonna leave you the paper there. And then I have a really bad habit of chewing gum. And out of all the times I did not have no gum to chew on before, and I kept telling them, "I can't do this, like, I'm too nervous, like, it's too hot, somebody needs to turn up the AC because I'm melting, like, I feel like I'm at work right now, melting away." And they're like, "You got this, like, you're gonna be fine, you're gonna be fine." I'm like, "No, like, I can't do this, like, we need to stop, like, can we just skip this part? Like, can somebody else read it?" And then, like, they finally called me up there and, like, I was like, "Oh my gosh, like my voice is gonna crack," because I don't like public speaking. I get very nervous. I get anxious.
You asked to do it. What were you
I know,
thinking?
but like I didn't think for once I didn't think that far ahead. Normally, I think really far into the future, but for once, I did not think that far ahead. And whenever like I got up there, my voice, it did crack, like, for the first sentence, but then I kinda got comfortable because, like, I seen my friends at the bottom, they're just giving me the thumbs up, like, "You're doing good, you're doing good." And I was like, "Okay." And then I look over at my baby, and he's giving me the thumbs up too, I was like, "Okay." Then I kinda calmed down, and I was like, "Okay." And the speech felt like forever. I was so nervous the entire time, and when I finally got to the last words, I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank gosh."
What was the reaction?
Like, I was ready to get off that stage, and when, Mr. Donovan came, he's all like, "Thank you, Jennifer, for the speech." And, like, I immediately started turning around and started walking off the stage, and then he's like, "Wait, come back." And I was like, "Okay." He's all like, "Now we wanna present you with this plaque, and thank you for your inspiring words." And it just felt even longer up there. I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Just let it
Like,
end.
I couldn't wait to get off. I was excited to be the one to do the speech and be the only one with all the cords, but it was different being in that moment.
Well, it sounds like it was an amazing moment. It sounds like you earned every chord you had. You earned that plaque. And how excited are you now? What's the career path? What are the career prospects? You said you've been in the field. Are you working? What are you doing with the degree or with the
Yes, yes.
training?
I'm currently in the field. I do commercial work. The company I work for, we only do government buildings, so like courthouses, schools, fire departments, stuff like that. It's like a construction setting. Um, I like it. I don't see myself, I mean, leaving the field or going back to school for something like I never thought I'd be one of those people that be like, "Oh, I love my job." Like, we all say we love our job and sometimes we fake it. Like the same thing with the medical assistant. "Oh, I love what I do." And I get off of work ready to like relieve that I'm finally off. But here like I enjoy it. I enjoy the setting. It's freeing. I don't feel like I have to put on like a fake personality like I would in the medical field. Like I enjoy it. I don't see myself leaving the electrical field or like even trying a different setting. Like I probably wouldn't try residential. I'd
Yeah.
probably just stick with commercial. Um, I don't, maybe that's just for now, but I don't. I if I look towards the future, like 5 years from now, I don't see myself changing the setting. I enjoy it a lot.
Well, that is fabulous, and yeah, you don't need to be thinking about the future. You need to be living in the moment, and it sounds like it's very good. You realize
Yeah.
though that you're going to have to accept the fact that you're going to be, and how do you feel about this? You're going to be a role model for a bunch of different kinds of people. You're going to be a role model for women, who want to get into the trades because it's still less common. For parents,
Mhm.
for people making a career change. I mean, what do you say to those groups of people who will see themselves in you?
Um, I'd say like I tell them that feeling stuck doesn't mean you're trapped forever. You're allowed to want more for yourself. You shouldn't feel guilty about it. The first step is believing your life can actually change and then being willing to take action even when it's scary. Um, Sometimes people think transformation happens when life is finally calm. But I mean, like I said, for me, it happened in the middle of chaos. I was becoming an electrician while navigating heartbreak, motherhood, work, moving, career changes, and rebuilding my life all at the same time. That journey taught me I was stronger than I thought I was. Like a few years back, I would have never thought I could make it through something like this. But I mean, some people like look at my story. It's not perfect the way everybody makes it seem. I didn't have any financial help. Like I sat here and pushed through it. Again, it took a lot of sacrifice, sleep, time with my babies, my relationship. But I mean, I made it. I made it, and we're here.
It's a great story. It's a great story. I see you doing a lot of mentorship as you advance in this field, and I see you building, your brand too. We've been talking to a lot of people, entrepreneurship and branding. If somebody wants to find you on social, do you have what's your tag? What's your handle? What's your name?
Okay, yes, social media.
You're not doing it? You're
Is
not on the socials?
No, yes, I am. Yes, I am.
You just
It's
don't
because I
know it.
don't have it memorized. I don't have it memorized, but I remember writing it a couple days ago here at school when I stopped by to visit.
So it's up on the
So
whiteboard behind you? Is that what? Okay, turn
yes, it's
around. Turn around. And I can't see it. You're gonna have to read it to me.
okay. So it's screwed like screwed something in, screwed underscore no, screwed period up underscore 99.
Screwed up 99. Bam.
Screwed dot up underscore 99. Yep.
Well, Jenny Robles, I cannot thank you enough for sharing your story, and I guarantee you that your story is going to inspire a whole lot of people coming up behind you. So, thanks so much
I
for
hope
being.
so. I hope so.
Thank you for being on Skilled Nation today.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Jenny's story is proof that the skilled trades aren't just about learning a skill. They're about creating options, creating stability, creating a future for your family, a future that the family can feel along with you. From balancing two jobs and raising 3 boys to graduating with the highest honors as an electrician. Jenny Robles bet on herself and won. Thanks for listening to Skilled Nation. It's a way of life, a badge of honor.